The whole idea of facing my future without this child that I'd already started to love was something that I just couldn't come to terms with. We never expected to have any problems in adding to our family, so the whole thing came as such a complete shock. But when Lauren was 2.5 years old, I was on a trip in Thailand, and when we found out that I was pregnant again, we were super excited. It was wonderful. But sadly, within a couple of days, I was actually rushed to emergency. We didn't know what was wrong with me, but we were told that I was having what's called an ectopic pregnancy. We lost the baby, and we lost my left tube as well in that process. We were devastated. The high of finding out about the new life and the low of losing it so quickly was heartbreaking. I then, within the next year, had 2 further miscarriages. Each one was devastating, and I needed a lot of support to help me through that time, but I now know just how common that is. And then we fell pregnant again. We're so fortunate. Everything was looking really great. We had some early scans, we saw the heartbeat of the baby, and we were allowing ourselves to be hopeful. When we got to around about 9 weeks, again I was rushed to emergency. I nearly lost my life while I was hemorrhaging. I remember passing out on the way to the hospital, but I remember nothing from being there. And it turned out that this little baby had nestled itself in the stump of the tube that had been removed. A very rare condition, something our obstetrician had never seen before. I felt rock bottom. I don't think I'd ever felt lower in my life. We just couldn't believe that something like this could happen to us 4 times. It was crazy. My husband was angry, very angry, and I just felt empty. The disappointment was quite overwhelming, and our faith in God was a lifesaver. There's no way we could have gotten through what we went through without God's support. People have often asked me about why we continued to try for a baby, given everything that we'd been through. And I tell them that one night God gave me a dream, and in that dream I saw our family. I saw Marcus and I and Lauren on the beach, and I also saw a little boy drawing in the sand. That gave me so much hope, and it gave me this unbelievable sense of peace that no matter what we were going through, God was in control, and that His plans for our family were good. I just went from this despair and this hopelessness to knowing deep within my heart that things would be okay. After the huge operation that I'd undergone, within 2 months I'd fallen pregnant again. And I knew this time that despite some complications that we had in the beginning of the pregnancy, I knew that this was one baby that we would get to hold. And I held on to that hope and that feeling with all my might. And 9 months later, our Benjamin came into the world quietly and beautifully. It was amazing. The sonographer who took this early scan during my pregnancy with Benjamin pointed out that he had actually come from the egg on the side where I no longer have a tube. It's incredible. I think the last few years have definitely changed me. I'm a more realistic person. I now know that bad things can happen to good people, but I also know that we're never on this journey alone.